speaking, or they can agree to relinquish their time. Okay, sorry guys, my car's got a little messed up on me. Okay, so at this time, I'm going to go ahead and allow each team to come up and introduce their teams to you, okay? Blue team will let you go first.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Eileen Nguyen, and I'm captain of the blue team, standing in support that teachers should be allowed to carry firearms. Today, I'm so proud to introduce to you our opening speaker, Autumn Sweat, our second speaker, Darian Griffiths-Luna, our co-captain and rebuttal speaker, Lucas Smith, our question speaker, Annie Chamberlain, our closing speaker, Sasha Utter, and background researchers, Kara Gibson and Ajana Cross. Together, we are committed to present a case with thoughtful reasoning evidence. We look forward to the debate. Thank you.
And white team, you may present yours as well.
Hello everyone, my name is Ureli Rosales. I am the team captain of the white team. Over the course of the past 2 weeks, our team has worked tirelessly to present the opposition side of the argument today. I would like to acknowledge Kaylee Bumpus, Brooke King, and Kajiana Jones for helping with the research presented today. I would also like to acknowledge Caroline McNutt, who will be giving our opening statement, Logan Emanette, who will be our second speaker and answering our judge's question, Kinsey Bass, who will be our closing statement, and Jacob Yates, who will be our rebuttal statement. I want to thank the judges and the audience for being here today. We are all truly grateful for the opportunity we have been given today. Thank you to Ms. Bonner for starting the debate team, and to Dr. Perry for approving today's topic. Last but not least, good luck to the blue team, and thank you all for your time.
Thank you, teams. At this time, I just wanted to do a brief introduction of our judges. Our judges for today are Ms. Sims, and Mr. Newton, and Ms. Crowley. And they will be grading each team, scoring them in these categories. Number 1 is organization and clarity, 2, use of arguments, 3, use of examples and facts, 4, the use of rebuttal, and 5, presentation style. So at this time, we are going to go ahead and get started with the debate portion. So blue team will be up first, and they are welcome to come up and do their opening statements.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Autumn Sweat. Today, we stand firmly in favor of the motion that teachers should be permitted to carry firearms in schools. Gun violence is no recent issue, particularly in our schools. We can go as far back as 1999, when on April 20th, in Littleton, Colorado, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold initiated a horrific massacre at Columbine High School. What had begun as a seemingly normal day for both students and teachers quickly became a frantic life or death situation. Among these caught in the tragedy was a man named William David Sanders, known as Dave, who had been a teacher, a father, and a grandfather. Dave had been in the cafeteria when he heard the unmistakable sound of gunshots. He quickly rushed to warn other students, guiding over 100 of them to safety. However, even after this heroic act, Dave chose not to remain behind, wanting to go help the other people in the school. As he was on his way to alert others, he ran into the shooters and was shot in the back and the neck as he tried to escape. Gravely injured, Dave still managed to crawl to a nearby science hallway where a colleague used the shirts of students to stop his bleeding. But even as students held up signs to the windows, begging for help, their pleas went unanswered, and Dave passed away 3 hours later. In his final moments, as his life slipped away, Dave's last words were to tell his family that he loved them. Dave's story is not merely a statistic. It is a reminder of what has happened and is still happening in American schools today. Although this event took place approximately 24 years ago, the Washington Post reports that there have been 417 gun violence-related incidents at schools following Columbine. These events have claimed the lives of 217 individuals while leaving 472 others injured. And unfortunately, the truth of the matter is that in many scenarios, shooters target schools because they know that there are little to no defense measures in place. By leaving ourselves unprotected, we create a vulnerable environment for students and teachers alike. Rather than feeling secure, we are left clinging onto hope and praying that we will not be the next ones to face this unimaginable nightmare. Our thoughts are consumed by the fear of what could happen, limiting our focus on education. These factors force us to ask a difficult yet vital question. How many more lives must be lost before we take meaningful action to truly protect our students and our teachers? Ultimately, it is our responsibility to change this reality. By arming thoroughly trained teachers, we could completely reshape school safety. The presence of educators that were equipped to respond to threats could not only assist in deterring potential shooters, but also in reducing emergency response times. And in a world where school shootings have become all too common, it is absolutely crucial that we have the means to defend ourselves. Officers may be trained to respond, but in these intense situations, the reality is that every single second counts. Not only will this solution allow schools to remain safe spaces of learning, it will also enable us to quickly stop threats before they have the chance to escalate. We owe it to both ourselves and our future generations to foster an environment where our education can thrive without fear. So today, as I leave you, I ask one final question. Is it worth it to leave our safety to chance? Thank you for your time.
Blue team, you have 1 minute remaining. Would you like to relinquish your time? Yes, okay. All right. Great. White team, would you do your opening statement, please, for us?
Good morning. As you've heard today, the most nationally well-known school shooting happened on April 20th, 1999 at Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado, when Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold wielded 2 guns and homemade bombs and unleashed mass destruction on their schools. One gun was an unlicensed purchase given to them by an older friend, and the other was illegally sold to them by a pizza shop employee for $500. 39 students and staff were injured, and 15 lost their lives. Since then, according to security.org, over 400 school shootings have taken place. Additionally, the National Center for Education Statistics cites that from 2000 to 2022, 131 U.S. children have been killed, and 197 have been injured due to mass shooting incidents in elementary and secondary schools alone. But the truth is, these are just numbers. These statistics don't tell the stories of the bright lives lost too soon to gun violence. What they do tell us is that school shootings keep happening again and again. No child should have to go to school and wonder if they will be a victim of or witness a mass shooting. School shooters have come from all different backgrounds. There have been perpetrators who were previously students at the victim school, like Adam Lanza at Sandy Hook in 2012. Or there have been perpetrators who were strangers to the school altogether, like Brenda Spencer at the Cleveland High School shooting of 1978. However, shooters from various backgrounds are connected by a common thread: their access to guns. Logically, this should tell Americans that the problem is the careless distribution of deadly weapons and the lack of an effort to stop it. Instead, some Americans propose fighting this violence with yet more violence. Instead, some Americans propose allowing teachers to carry firearms in schools to defend students with additional gunfire. These individuals believe that this will make schools a safe place once again. However, we eliminate the option of safety the minute we allow guns on such a high volume to enter school grounds and with so many unpredictable factors surrounding them. This is also an idea that is not fair to teachers. They cannot be expected to act as trained shooters under times of extreme duress when they've dedicated their career to educating kids. In 2013, Texas passed a state law allowing teachers to carry firearms. However, it changed nothing. Not only did most teachers not want to participate, but also in 2023, 10 years after the law was passed, the U.S. News reported Texas as having the highest number of casualties in U.S. school shootings at 21 victims. Additionally, the resources and money that would go toward training efforts would detract from the importance of education and the mental well-being of students, not just physical. School resource officers are specifically trained to efficiently defend students and to prevent crime on school grounds. They aren't required to pay from their own pocket for 40 hours of gun safety training like teachers would be required to, as stated under the Tennessee Senate Bill 1325. There are numerous ways to contribute to efforts against gun violence that don't include offensive tactics. Stricter gun laws and in-depth background checks would assist in ensuring that an individual is fit to own a firearm. Moreover, we can attack this problem at its root when we pay attention to the signs of threats in school shootings. Essentially, gun violence is an ever-growing issue with a responsibility that belongs to everybody. Through all of the anecdotes and statistics you will hear today, the most important thing to remember is what laid the foundation to this disgusting chain of events in the first place: guns. Introducing more guns to school settings will cause greater fear and devastation by giving teachers a burden they never volunteered to carry, and by usurping time and energy that will ultimately dampen the quality of education in the United States. More proactive measures like thorough laws limiting gun ownership and vigilant attention to shooting threats can and should be taken. When we choose to fight acts of senseless violence with logic and open-mindedness instead of more violence, that is when we protect the well-being of one of society's most vulnerable. Thank you.
You have 30 seconds remaining. Would you like to relinquish your time? All right. At this time, we'll hear from the secondary speakers from each team, and we will allow blue team to go first.
To continue off where Autumn started, I would like to preface the important piece of legislation that has been the catalyst for this debate, Senate Bill 1325. This bill, which has been passed and is the law in our state, is an amendment to already existing laws that allow our SROs to carry firearms on campus. This amendment expands this to teachers with, mind you, stringent guidelines. These guidelines, which many would agree are entirely necessary, include psychological evaluations and numerous background checks. It is also important to state that the effectiveness of these psychological evaluations, according to the American Psychological Association, are just as effective as any other medical test. And according to an article submitted to the National Library of Medicine, the rate of gun-related deaths in states that mandated background checks for the purchasing of firearms has significantly decreased. In comparison to a state like Mississippi with a death rate of approximately 33 deaths per 100,000 persons, Washington has universal background checks codified with approximately 12 deaths per 100,000. Additionally, the bill requires teachers to have 2 sets of fingerprints, 40 hours of minimum training, a concealed carry license, and they must keep it a secret if they do or don't have a firearm. With this in mind, it is important to recognize that the regulations added onto the law have dire consequences. Due to their unwanted complexities, regulations can deter people with poor intentions or lack of commitment from seeking out certain pursuits. The teachers who seek to carry firearms on school grounds will likely be the ones who will dedicate the time and effort to go through this legal process. Ultimately, it is these individuals who will understand and take responsibility for their actions when owning a weapon. It is these individuals that already supervise and ensure the well-being of our kids, and it is these individuals who took the time to train that will be willing and prepared to risk their lives for their kids. In a time when there are hundreds of innocent students and faculty waiting for help while lives are being lost, there should be some support from the inside. According to the Department of Homeland Security, the average response time of police officers to school shootings is 18 minutes. In the most extreme cases, like Columbine, proper response takes up to 2 to 3 hours. And the swiftness of responses, like the police response to the Covenant school shooting in Nashville, there were 6 lives lost and 2 injured. When there are logistical delays, armed teachers who already know the layout of a school can contribute to the response of the authorities well before they arrive. At the very least, an armed teacher can stall and mitigate the response of a shooter. And ultimately, this is a grand display of our basic rights at play. The Second Amendment guarantees United States citizens the right to bear arms. More specifically, the Second Amendment guarantees that the citizens can defend themselves in a time of need. When there is a crisis like a school shooting, trusted teachers and faculty should have the right, as described in the Constitution, to defend themselves and others. And when police officers take too long to get on scene to deal with the threat, innocent people should be left defenseless with the hope that the police come in time. Beyond our rights, logistically arming teachers would act as a proactive deterrent to shooters. According to the Washington Post, 77% of actual shooters had shared their plans with others before the attack. Logically, the plan of a school shooter will have to work around the presence of an SRO. With more than half of school shooters being either students, former students, or even staff members, it is not unreasonable to say that they could find out the average schedule of an active SRO. The way teachers are armed in the state of Tennessee counteracts this and decreases the effectiveness of a school shooter's plans where they rely on the consistency of school schedules. Additionally, according to the Crime Prevention Research Center, 98.7% of mass shootings occur in gun-free zones. Arming teachers in a previously conceived gun-free school district can keep shooters from being drawn to attack and divert them away from taking action. To end, if someone has a gun and is trying to kill you, it would be reasonable to shoot back with your own gun. Dalai Lama, thank you for your time.
Okay, he would like to relinquish the remaining time, so white team, you may continue with your secondary speaker.
Teachers are the key when it comes to helping unlock the potential of the next generation. Through the use of education, they help to build not just the future citizens of the nation, but the future leaders of the world. With such greatness, it's absurd to ever believe that the lives of students would ever be jeopardized, right? The state of Texas passed a law in 2013 which allows teachers to carry firearms in school buildings. They enacted this in response to the Ulivad massacre, and although the number of school shootings aren't recorded, from information gathered via news articles and reports prior to 2013, there is an estimated total of 37 school shootings in Texas. And post-2013, after when teachers were allowed to carry guns, there is an estimated total of 54 school shootings in Texas and counting. On top of the lack of effectiveness with this fight fire with fire strategy, it is also incredibly expensive. The new state law requires teachers to take a 40-hour training course before being able to carry a gun. The state of Tennessee offers some training courses for the teachers to be eligible to use firearms in school settings. The cost of these courses are on the shoulders of the teacher, and the total cost of them, including the items for the course and the entry cost, is somewhere in the ballpark of $654. And this is ignoring the cost of the gun and other items that could be used to keep the gun safe, such as a safety holster or a safe, which could add another $300 to $400 at minimum. This is not only extremely expensive, but it eats into what little free time a teacher has throughout their year, with most teachers working, on average, over 2,000 hours a year. Adding an extra 40 hours of training annually is not ideal. Now, the training that a teacher undergoes, it takes them just 40 hours to be certified and to complete it. But who else in the building is already certified? The SRO. SROs, or school resource officers, are policemen who operate in school buildings as security officers. To become an SRO, one must first pass basic training, which in Tennessee can last anywhere between 8 weeks and 8 months. On top of this, they also have to have a minimum of 3 years of experience in law enforcement, with an additional annual 40 hours of training in school policing. To have our noble officers do so much just to be eligible for the position, and then have the teachers who have nowhere near the level of experience or training come in and overtake their job is pure asinine. Our teachers are meant to be educators, not worrying about whether they may have to take a life with a firearm or not. According to Amendment Number 6 to SB 1325, a school in which a teacher or staff member possesses or carries a handgun in pursuant to this section must be considered a hazardous work environment. A hazardous work environment. To expose the brilliant children of Tennessee to such an environment is just insane. As stated in Amendment Number 3 to SB 1325, page 6, Section H, paragraph 1, it states that the LEA, which is the school board, and law enforcement agencies are immune from claims for monetary damages that arise solely from or that are related to a faculty or staff member's use of or failure to use use a handgun. If there is a time in which a teacher could have used their handgun but chose not to, and something of monetary value is damaged, no matter the situation, no matter who shot the gun or damaged something, the teachers are the ones liable for the damages. Imagine a teacher was in a situation in which they were forced to use their gun. The teacher or the assailant or even the police officer damages something in the school. The teacher has to cover it, for they are the only ones liable under the law. This new law turns away teachers from their primary purpose of being educators to becoming students' first line of defense. It removes the purpose of having a qualified SRO in the building. It takes away from the little free time our teachers have. It is expensive and an ineffective way of solving gun violence.
You have 30 seconds remaining. Would you like to relinquish? Okay. All right. We will move on at this point to the rebuttal portion of the debate. And so, Blue Team, if you would like to offer your rebuttal first, you have 3 minutes when you begin speaking.
I'd like to start off by acknowledging the opposing team's side that violence versus violence is not the equation to surpass these gun violences. But it is true that it's expensive for the cost to keep these students safe. But is the cost of money and time not worth a child's life? Elementary kids are defenseless. It shouldn't be a question whether they should spend their time on this. Teachers are not forced to do this. Teachers are not forced to carry guns. It's completely optional. It's all up to them. And 40 hours a year on the 2,000 hours it's not that much. And it's just to save a child's life. I'd like to state a statistic that Darian said a minute ago. He said, findings from the Crime Prevention Center, the CPRC, show that 98% of mass shootings over a 68-year period occurred in gun-free zones. According to CPRC, 97.8% of mass public shootings from 1950 to May 2018 occurred in gun-free zones. The gun laws do not matter as long as teachers have their guns and have their trainings. It should be okay. It's more jeopardizing to have a student in a school-free zone, a student with a gun roam in a school gun-free zone than to just not have an SR. All they have to worry about is an SRO officer besides other teachers to worry about. It's jeopardizing in that fact.
You have 50 seconds remaining. Would you like to relinquish your time? Okay. All right. White team. You also have 3 minutes for your rebuttal.
I'd like to point out the fact that, yes, our reaction times are slow to schools, but in Sandy Hook Elementary, Adam Lanza fired 156 rounds in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Even if the teacher had a gun, what use would it be? A mass shooting like that, one person or even a few, wouldn't work. And I'd like to quote a statistic from a study from the Dallas Police Department that only 54% of firearm shootings, only 54% hit. Only 54. And these officers have 860 hours of training, just basic training, not arming for, not shootings, not with their guns, not use of force, just training. And yet you want to give a teacher with only 40 hours a gun, they will not be able to, I repeat, not be able to defend these students. And you can argue that you can hide the gun and not let the student know. But then that's just going to run the risk of the students having to worry, what if this teacher gets mad and uses a gun? And they don't know what teacher it is. That's all.
You have 1 minute remaining. Would you like to relinquish your time? Okay. All right, at this time, we're going to give the judges just a second to determine which questions they would like to ask. Also, as you have listened, be considering who you would like to vote for. We do still have judges' questions and closing statements to follow up with, but we will give them just another minute to discuss what question they would like to ask.
I'm white team. Yeah. That team? Yeah. Like they have valid arguments, and plus they didn't stammer their entire rebuttal. My mom is very good, mom. Bro was not a cook. Rebuttal. Bro burned, but he also answers the questions. Doesn't he? He answers. No, that's her. He answered the questions at the end. Bro should not be allowed in the kitchen. He burned down the house. Burned down the house. They were cooking and he accidentally burned it down. Who is that? Oh. Can I just say something? What? I'm recording, and out of all the places that girl could have sat, she sat right in front of my camera. Like she could have sat there, or there, or there, but she sat in front of my camera. You should also have been talking the whole time. What? You've been talking the whole time? Yeah. Like, we've been talking a while. No. You can post it to YouTube. Okay. I'll live. Audio manipulation is a thing, it's fine. Why did you post it? What? Burning down the house. Okay, let's go. I'm not gonna stop recording. Please, don't send it to me. Don't send it to me. I can't. The video would be too long. So you just video the video? Like, no, we can like transfer it from my phone to his phone. Here, let me video. Hold up, I'm gonna get this side. Hold up. Okay, for real. Please, can I record? Stop, you're looking like I'm sucker mom. Let me record the second half. Let me record the second half. Let me record the second half. No, you can't post that. yes to record it. No, he didn't. I asked him if he wanted a picture, and he said yes. I said, I did this. Do you want a picture? He said yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think our judges are ready to ask their question. Blue team, if your speaker would like to come to the podium and we will accept your judge's question, you will have 3 minutes as well to respond at the end of their question.
Hello, is this working? Hello, do I gotta get really close? All right. So our question for the blue team is, what evidence or comfort could you provide to those individuals, whether that be concerned parents, peers of students, those in the district, admin, anyone in the community? What could you do to provide the comfort or evidence to not worry that an angry individual in the school system could take or misuse the weapons that you have placed in teachers' possession?
Okay, so by stressing the fact that these teachers who are carrying have undergone such intense training, hopefully the teachers, the students and the parents will find some comfort in that these teachers aren't just being given guns and saying, all right, if a situation comes up, use this. By then, they can start to understand that guns are a worst case scenario, protection. Of course, stressing the training and everything, and then building that relationship between teachers and students, building back that trust, encouraging students to open up to counselors and teachers and parents about any concerns that they do have can improve the students' mental health, and if they do have stress issues, about their safety in the school. But overall, there have been other solutions brought up, like metal detectors or officers stationed outside the doors, but those solutions just bring more of a prison-like feeling to the environment than teachers who can conceal their guns would. I mean, those are trusted people, and once that relationship is properly built up, we can bring back that welcoming environment that school is supposed to encourage. Thank you.
Blue team, you do have 1.5 minutes. Would you like to relinquish your remaining time? Okay. All right, and white team.
Hello.
Evening.
All right. White team, y'all's question is, if teachers carrying guns is not the solution to gun violence across all of these schools in the U.S., what would you propose to be the solution if not guns?
Just to clarify on the question, you're asking for a solution that would involve teachers not carrying guns at the school.
Correct.
Right, so I believe that a better solution rather than guns would be, first off, possibly stricter gun laws across the various states in which school shootings are the highest that would restrict people from getting access to guns. For example, a psychological screening before you're able to get into able to purchase a gun or something along those lines. And for the schools themselves to protect them from means of having a school, of protecting them with means without a gun, I propose that maybe there would be more than just one SRO in the building, maybe 2, maybe 3, and perhaps there would be metal detectors at the doors. Yes, it would, as the opposing answerer said, a more prison-like scenario, but schools, I remind you, are designed after prisons because they are a secure, safe design. That's meant to keep people safe and inside. So with that in mind, adding a metal detector at the front door to ensure that a person coming in, or not even a metal detector, perhaps even something that could scan through the bag, like a x-ray machine at an airport that could see what is in the bag, that could possibly tell if a student is carrying a gun or not, or a teacher even, that could be another great solution to solving the problem. Thank you.
You also have 1 minute and 19 seconds. Would you like to relinquish your time? Okay. All right. At this point, we will do closing statements from both teams. Blue team, go ahead and do your closing statement first, and you will have 3 minutes when your time starts.
Sorry. I want to make sure y'all can hear me. They're not made for short people. Okay, can y'all hear me? Okay, I'm ready then. Good morning, all. In America today, the threat of school shootings has become an alarmingly high concern for parents, students, and staff alike. In worst-case scenarios, it is essential that we are capable of keeping ourselves safe. When acts of violence are unpredictable and universally devastating, it is absolutely vital that everyone at school is given the opportunity to learn with utmost security and protection. We have seen far too many tragedies in schools where innocent lives were taken with disregard and malice. History has proven time and time again that waiting for outside help is not the most efficient thing to do. It just is not fast enough. How much longer can we wait for action to be finally taken on revoking gun laws? Columbine, 47 minutes, 13 fatalities. Uvalde, 77 minutes, 21 fatalities. When will we finally decide that enough is enough? Santa Fe, who received a response time of 4 minutes, resulted in 10 fatalities. Allowing trained teachers to bear arms provides a solution that can ensure immediate response time during most critical moments of an emergency. These teachers have the opportunity to stop a threat before more lives are endangered. This is not simply about reacting, it is about protecting the lives of the innocent and vulnerable. In the end, this isn't just about policies and regulations, but also about giving teachers the ability to protect the children they care for, ensuring no more innocent lives are lost. The argument was brought up by our opponent that an armed teacher could possibly inflict harm on a student, or worse. And facts have proven that within institutions that allow teachers to carry, this scenario has only occurred one time. Still, knowing this, wouldn't you rather have a trained and evaluated teacher armed and ready to defend with a weapon to ensure the safety of your friends, your loved ones, and your mentors on this campus, instead of relying on hiding in a closet or behind a door, in a bathroom stall, or running from an armed shooter whose sole intention is to take your life? Teachers are armed with words to help us survive as we grow into adulthood. Sadly, however, this world has become much more sinister, and teachers now need to be armed with weapons just to help us survive high school in general, because bullets will shoot right through their words alone. We have all heard the saying, never bring a knife to a gunfight. So I ask you all, why should we show up to a gunfight with nothing? I thank you all for your time.
You have 22 seconds remaining if you'd like to relinquish. All right, and we will conclude with our white team closing statements.
Summarizing this argument in simple words is nearly impossible. The debate over putting firearms in schools is one of incredible nuance and gravity. This debate stems further than a battle between morals and political stances. It is one that involves the lives and well-being of children and their teachers. This debate is a necessary one, however, as the amount of school shootings in the U.S. has steadily been increasing. An article from the Sandy Hook Promise, an organization founded by families of victims from the Sandy Hook Massacre in 2012, there have been more shootings in 2022 than any other year since Columbine, which was 1999. With events such as the Covenant school shooting in Nashville and the Appalachia school shooting in Georgia, the topic of teachers being allowed to carry firearms in schools has become extremely relevant and extremely contested. While legislature aimed at preventing school shootings should be passed, laws allowing teachers to carry firearms have no place among them. During the course of this debate, many statistics have been cited as clear evidence as to how arming teachers does not prevent school shootings. While statistics provide unbiased and decisive evidence, it is still crucial to examine why school shootings occur at all. According to an article from Columbia University's Department of Psychiatry, most mass shootings are perpetrated by middle-aged men reacting to sudden and intense life stressors. This makes school shootings they're impulsive decisions and they're significantly more difficult to prevent. Because of this, the destigmatization of mental health issues, access to mental health services, and the restriction of distribution of firearms will serve to potentially reduce the number of school shootings in America. The key to solving, or at least alleviating, an issue rooted in pain and societal discontent is not pushing more responsibility onto already overworked teachers. The answer is not continuing the I'm so sorry, is not to continue perpetuating militarization. The answer is not introducing even more deadly weapons into what should be academic centers of refuge. The answer is compassion, understanding, and taking action against such a long-standing problem in America. Arming teachers is a Band-Aid on a severed artery, a tourniquet tied too tight. In a battle against violence and bloodshed, a welcoming hand will always be more effective than a swatting one. Thank you.
You have 30 seconds remaining. Would you like to relinquish your time? Okay, sorry. All right, at this time, we're going to give the judges a few minutes to tally their scores, and I'd like to give you a minute to think about your decision and go ahead and vote on which team you felt presented their argument the best. And in just a minute, we will go ahead and collect them.
Logan, you can't post this.
On the table
I'm gonna slap Logan if you don't look right here. Very fun, Daniel. What is he doing? Yo, Logan. Logan.
I need an awesome.
No.
If you have already voted, the girls will be coming around to collect your votes, and we will tally them and get the results back to you this afternoon.
Stop holding my hand. No. Did you get hot water? Stop. Why is your phone so hot? Why? Why? My canker sore. How's that funny? No post. Someone took a bite on my Texas toast at Zaxby's. Look at this. Look. Yeah. Want to see something? Why? Trying to gang something. What if they don't want to be posted? So you gotta stop them. What the heck? I just... Look, don't you love this?
this great?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude, I just wanted to say, first of all, please give both teams a huge round of applause. It takes a great deal of courage, and they've done so much research and evaluating each other, and so I'm super proud of both teams. I know that some of you have seen the behind the scenes work that they've done, and some of you are just seeing the result of it, but they have been working very hard this week, so congratulations to both of you for coming here today, and thank you guys for being a part of our audience. We are going to be open to suggestions as we move forward, and I would like to include your feedback as well, so be looking for something coming out to give us some feedback on how you thought things went today and different topics that you might be interested in hearing about as well. Okay? All right, without further ado, the winner of our first official debate is the white team. Congratulations. Congratulations to the white team. Congratulations again to the blue team for your contributions as well. And y'all, thank you so much for being here. You can have a seat and just remain seated until the bell rings and you will be released to second block. Thank you.